Hi there. Today we are making a vegan nacho cheese sauce or dip, depending on how you choose to use it.
Made with real vegans.
No, it really isn't. So it happens to be nut-free. A lot of vegan stuff I find is quite heavy because it relies on nuts, which are high in calories and fat, even though they're very good for you. I prefer to have smaller amounts of nuts in my life other than my family, of course.
You married me.
Yes, well, there is that. So I have lots of nuts in my life, so I don't need them in this sort of situation. Now, I am not vegan, so why am I making vegan food? Why are a lot of my recipes vegan? Partly it has to do with curiosity. I'm always really curious when I come across a recipe. Can I do that? What does it taste like? Why did they do that? And so on. It's my curiosity. But we have vegans in our lives. These videos, I'm thinking of my boys and their peers, a lot of whom are vegan, that these are recipes that they might want to make that are easy, inexpensive, fast, tasty, blah, 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 right? So this sauce, the base of which is not nuts, as I said, it is potato and carrot. Now I have just boiled those. How long? So it took about 8 minutes for me. Mine are fairly small cut. If they were a larger cut, then 10 minutes, 12 minutes maybe.
Salted water? Or?
No, I did not salt the water. You can salt the sauce if it needs. You want a fork to pierce easily and then for the potato and carrot to slide off. They shouldn't be falling apart. But you also don't want to do this in advance. These are still hot. I don't know if you can see some steam there. But that's kind of crucial to the recipe that these have just come off the stove. I have just drained them and they're still hot. So we're going to pop them in here. Now, the original recipe that this is based on said that you needed to have a high-powered blender to make this emulsion, like a Blendtec or a Vitamix or something like that. We have a Vitamix, but I decided to try this using other things, and I have made this successfully in my Magic Bullet, and I wanted to see today if we can make it using the stick blender. So hey, if it doesn't work, I guess you won't see this video, but otherwise, use the stick blender, use whatever blender you have. Personally, I don't think it's that important. Someone's phone is dinging, so sorry. Okay, so we've got potatoes, cooked potatoes and carrots, all numbers, amounts are down below. Then what we have here is some vegetable oil. In this case, that happens to be sunflower oil because that's what we have around. We have oat milk here. Now, you can use any plant milk that you want here. If you want to keep it nut-free, obviously you're not going to use almond or one of those, but you could use soy, you could use oat. And I also have a quick ratio down below. We didn't have any plant milk in the house. We sometimes do. And so what you do is it's 1 part oats to 2 parts water, blend it up, strain it, there you have your oat milk. So that's down below as well. Then we have a bit of lemon juice here, freshly squeezed. We have a bit of tomato paste. Now this I think is the secret ingredient. This is pickled jalapeños. And I have done it with pickled pepperoncini on one occasion when I didn't have any jalapenos in the house. So you're not only using a few slices of the jalapenos themselves, but the secret ingredient here, I think, is the brine that the jalapenos are in. Because that's what gives this that nacho flavor. And keep this all in quotes, please, because I'm not suggesting in any way that this is Mexican, not that nachos are Mexican anyway, but it's like this is North American cheesy food.
Cheesy.
Right?
Oh, and we embrace this so fully.
So what I have here, this is nooch, nutritional yeast. We've talked about that before. There's some sea salt there, finely ground. This is onion powder and garlic powder. And this is arrowroot, flour or powder. And it's a thickener and an emulsifier, and it gives it a smooth finish. The interwebs tell me that you can totally sub cornstarch for this.
Makes sense.
I have not done that. You can try that. Anyway, all of that goes in. How easy is this, right? And then we're going to use
Here comes the tricky bit.
The handy dandy stick blender.
becoming cheese. Now, what's the consistency you're looking for?
So what we're looking for is a thick, you know, that scary stuff that you get at the stadium on your nacho, you know.
Personally, no. I
Yeah,
don't.
well, no, nor do I really. I've had it. It was disgusting.
Look at that. Yeah,
So-
that looks like pretty close to it. Maybe
So-
a little bit more water, but I don't know. But
Well, the thing is, so you're supposed to serve it hot. This is warm, but this is like a hot dip. So you could heat it up a little bit longer, or you could leave it at this point. And if you're not eating yet, you could heat it up in the microwave or very gently on the stove to when you're ready to serve it. Now, in terms of serving, you can make it. You can have it as a dip. So you're putting pita wedges or chips or whatever in there. You can also put this. You can make it more like a sauce. You could toss some cooked macaroni in here and have a kind of nacho cheese, macaroni and cheese. Pour it over cauliflower or broccoli. You could pour it over baked potato, over some beans or chili, right?
bathe in it.
So, no, thanks. So the texture here is, this blender didn't get it quite as smooth as the Magic Bullet did, and I'm sure the Vitamix would. But my thought was, you may not have one of those around. I would say you could either leave it like this. It has an ever so slight graininess, and I do mean very slight from the potato. You could add a little more moisture if you wanted it runnier when you heat it up, and you could whiz it again in your blender, whether that's a stand blender or a stick blender. You could whiz it up again and try and get it that slightly more creamy thing. But it's actually, it tastes pretty good. I think Rob's right, it needs some more salt than what was there. So I'm gonna add a little salt, but it's a little cheesy and briny and nacho-y, and the heat depends on which chilies you're using and how hot they are or not. So there you go, easy vegan cheese sauce. Go make and leave a comment below.